the game was horrible.
Yeah. You know what that did, though, Darya? If that was whoever said get them both on the field, both teams,
yeah,
that was a brilliant move because it basically, you know, and again, as I've been saying for a couple of weeks here, that's not a real fan. That was a hoodlum. That was a criminal involved in that. But it pretty much put a message out to the fans, hey, you may hate the Dodgers and, you know, the Dodger fans may hate the Giants, but here's the way it is. We're the athletes. We're the guys who are doing this, and we don't hate each other.
Yeah, exactly.
We're together, and if you want to carry on that stupid, you know, where it's carried too far, go ahead. You do it on your own watch, not on ours.
And then adding the Juan Uribe ring to the field, too, which I didn't even get why they wouldn't have done that anyway. But I guess that was
well,
the
you
same
know,
decision.
I guess, you know, two ways. First off, there might be a little hard feelings that he left them.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's supposed to be a nice ceremony. Maybe they thought Uribe would get booed, but there were more cheers than boos.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that worked out. It's just that little thing called the game.
Except from the guy who Uribe owes the, what, $165,000 to? You know that story?
No. Why does he owe that money?
Well, he was renting an apartment, and they had I guess something went wrong in the apartment. There was a fire or something like that, and Uribe just skipped town without paying him. Oh. It was in yesterday's McCarran Ross column.
All right, well, no hard feelings aside from that.
Except for the guy renting him the apartment, yes.
How about with the A's, who won? But I thought this was really cute. The Trevor Cahill, when he signed, and he said, had they signed me last year, when they booted me down to the minors, I would have signed for anything, but thanks for the 30 mil.
Yeah. It shows you, too. Last night, the A's, you know, it's funny, they got a better record than the Giants.
Yeah, they do.
They're 5-5, and the Giants are 4-6. And granted, it's only 10 games, but they won an exciting game in Chicago when a guy dropped the ball in left field. But it just shows you the economics of baseball.
Yeah.
I keep hearing, boy, what a good deal the A's got. They're going to give this guy $6 million for 5 years. By signing him, you know, relatively early in his career.
Right, but isn't that funny? Yeah, I looked at that and was like, you're kidding me. So last year you'd sign for nothing, and now you get 30 mil for 5.
I don't believe it. Whenever a guy, that and the line, I'd play for nothing.
You're right.
Yeah, you play for nothing in Little League, but when you get up there, you want to get yours.
How about, okay, and did you read about this ex-San Diego player for University of San Diego? There's this huge sting that they did.
Yeah.
They arrested a player, another player, and a former, is it assistant coach? A assistant coach. Apparently they were doing some sort of betting scheme and a point deal, too.
Yeah, that's really scary. And, you know, of course, the joke is, and there's some truth to it, they're a pretty lousy team. They were last in their conference.
Right.
If they're shaving points, you got to concentrate on being a better team.
But
they're lousy.
But it doesn't matter if you get the betting. You know, you want to maneuver that.
Yeah,
so,
but
yeah.
that's frightening, and that's always been my thought on this, is that pros are all making millions.
Right.
So you got to really have a greedy guy or somebody in trouble to get the ear of a gambler. But college kids, you know, for the most part, aren't making any, you know, they're at the very least that much money.
Yeah.
You could catch their ear if kid's in a dire situation, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. And so there were, like, I think 7 total arrests. And it's always interesting how this stuff starts. It didn't start looking at that. It started into a pot probe, you know, like marijuana. I think a lot of the underworld is all connected, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and again, I always... that's my joke, but if you're going to cheat, you better win.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If you're cheating and you're on a lousy team, then what's it about?
We bet you will lose. You know, who needs to fix that?
Yeah.
And just lastly, this battle looks like it's finally over, put to rest over Facebook. Do you remember? Did you see the movie? These are the Winklevoss twins.
No.
Remember,
yeah, they were suing the guy. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
in fact, they've been on all the shows. I saw that. In fact, I happened to see that CNN thing. They did get, when they left, you know, they Facebook, they got a lot of money. Yeah,
they got a lot of money, and they say it wasn't enough, and then we want to relook at it. We should have gotten more. So the judge finally said, you know what? You two knew just what was going on. You got plenty of legal advisors and experts. You signed the deal in 2008. You're done. But I can't decide on this, and I'd be a horrible person on a jury or a judge. You know, Gary, because they did have an idea. They did give it to Zuckerberg, but then he sort of did his own thing, made it better, made it different. But did they deserve? I can't decide.
Yeah,
that
and how much did they get when they left?